and welcome to We Were Gamers, the podcast now focused on fraud and fraud prevention, exposing frauds in the world. That's our new motto, and we're sticking to it. What do you guys want to cover today? Fraud on the index funds, fraud on the NHL, or what do we want to go with next?
How about baked bean fraud?
Baked bean fraud? Oh my God, there's so many frauds we got to start with today. I don't know, dude. I was reading some news stories about this fast tracking the rules so SpaceX can go public on the S&P 500, and that sure doesn't sound right.
Yeah, sure doesn't.
Sounds right now, though.
It's not supposed to be able to be on the S&P 500 if you operate at a loss. So that's weird.
That reminds me, I'm going to need to contact my financial advisor and tell him to remove us from any index funds that buy that stock.
There you go. All right. Fraud number one solved. I don't think I'm watching any more of the Stanley Cup Finals. I am not a huge believer in sports are rigged. I definitely think there are cheaters out there. Astros cough.
Yeah, like what? Absolutely.
Trash pandas.
Yeah. Hey, wait, hold on.
Deflategate?
No. Trash pandas
are an actual team, I know.
Yeah, you can't throw that out there. That's a Angels subsidiary. We'll get to the Angels fraud in a bit.
so much to go around.
There's so much fraud, dude. I don't
know. We're playing. My baseball team is paying multiple players $20 million a year this year, and 2 of those 3 are hitting under 200. So that feels real good.
Buddy, we paid hundreds of millions to Anthony Rendon, and he didn't take a snap. I know it's the wrong sport to say take a snap, but hundreds of millions for the guy to show up and be like, my ankle hurts.
Sir, not appearing in this problem or season. Yeah. So that's in your past. Yeah. You're all good, dude.
That's true. See you later, Anthony. I don't know, dude. I can't watch the Stanley Cup Finals. It's so clearly favoring the Knights. There's a bunch of problems. Even Michael Bublé said the Knights winning is a problem. So
noted hockey commentator.
Well,
yeah, like why does anyone care about him?
He's Canadian, bro.
Okay. Does every other person in Canada get to have their opinion heard?
All Canadians are allowed opinions on hockey. Okay, they got not much else to have.
Sure, but why do we have to listen to them?
They probably pay more attention to hockey than you do.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
Inarguable.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, we talked about the Angels. We could talk about the Angels fraudness, and talk about the newest, the newest trend. JJ.
Okay.
We got to talk about Tarps off.
Yeah, have y'all been hearing about this? Y'all know what this is about? As an Angels fan, I would think you should know.
I know what they're using it for at Angel Stadium. I don't know how it started because it didn't start with us.
So my understanding is it started with some team, one of the Midwest teams. I don't know which one, but one of the small market Midwest teams. And they were selling ludicrously cheap tickets for some game because that's what happens to some of those teams. It's like you want to sit in the nosebleeds for like $2. Sure.
The day game when it's pouring rain or there's a tornado watch.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess a big group of dudes all got together and were just like bros. I think it was a frat or something. Like, I don't know what the exact case for it was, but a bunch of dudes just filled up part of a section, like a good, solid row and a half or whatever. And we're all just drinking a ton of beer and took their shirts off and were waving them around and just generally having a good time. And then by the end of the game was like some horrible blowout and the team was getting destroyed or whatever. By the end of the game, the entire upper deck section near where they were was almost completely full with guys with their shirts off, swinging them around.
Yes, in case people didn't understand, tarps means their shirts.
Yeah. And then they were all doing the waving towel thing. Other teams, it sounds like, have started to use it. I don't know that the original intent of it was to get them to sell the team, but it sounds like that has what the cause has been taken up by a number of other there's the guys being guys aspect of it, just dudes being dudes. But then there's been taken up by a number of other teams as a like ongoing thing, and then all the dudes start chanting "sell the team" or something like that.
Yeah. The Tarps off movement has found its way to the Angels as a form of protest at the stadium to the ownership of Art Moreno and the horrific season the team is already having. It was really funny. Like 2 games into the season, people were like, maybe they aren't as bad as they are on paper. They're winning games, 7 games in. Oh man, you know what? Maybe this is a season they can actually finish above 500 and blah 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 blah. And
They've come crashing back to reality.
By 3 weeks in, Kurt Suzuki was already being asked about how they were going to get out of their slump. And it's just gotten worse and worse from there. I don't think anyone has anything left in the tank to play for this team. I think Trout rides out his contract and retires, and the rest, anybody else coming to the Angels is just there for a paycheck. No way, no how. And so the current, it's almost kind of like a managed movement at this point, social protest situation. They've got an Instagram. They've got like planned events. Like we're all going this day, and we're all buying seats up in this section. It's turning into their way of actually being heard in protest. I would be surprised if you start to watch Angels home games on TV. Either they will completely ignore it and not mention it, or they will only talk about it the whole time. And I can't tell which way they're going to go.
It's going to be they completely ignore it because they're not going to show people chanting "sell the team" or whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was the front page 2 days ago of Sports Illustrated, Yahoo, the New York Times has picked it up. MLB.com posted some posts vaguely about stadium rules.
Sure. Yeah.
Not mentioning anything, but
apropos of nothing.
The chant is literally the entire game of "sell the team." So yeah,
good.
Wild.
The cheapskate owners should be shamed.
Yeah.
I think especially the Angels have even less of a reason than the Padres are in theory a smaller market than the Angels and more people in Orange County, right?
In Orange County than San Diego County?
San Diego County has a lot of area. I don't know if it has a lot of people.
That's a good question. Population of San Diego County. Yeah, that's gonna probably be smaller. I can already tell.
Yeah, San Diego is considered a small market team, and yet we're spending crazy amounts of money and filling the stadium although the way they're playing right now, like why is anyone going to these games? They're playing horrible.
Based on I don't know how close it is, but based on the US Census data, they're almost tied. You might actually be bigger as a county, but you're bigger also in space, so people are further from the stadium.
Right, much further. Some of those people in East County and North County are like, 30 miles, 40 miles from the stadium. Some of those people ain't commuting to downtown.
Well, I was going to say some of the people in the very North County might, in fact, find it easier to get to Angel Stadium than they would.
Oh, yeah. And you guys also, in theory, could pull people from the LA, greater region, although to be real, all those people are Dodgers fans, so it's not really going to happen.
All Dodger fans, yeah.
And even probably half the people in Orange County are Dodgers fans, but you know how it goes.
I do know how it goes.
Everyone is Dodgers fans in the entire world, basically, unless they're Yankees fans. That's kind of how it goes.
It's the Dodgers, the Yankees. I feel like the Giants have a massive following for some reason.
That's only here.
The Red Sox have a big following because everyone apparently 85% of the United States is from Massachusetts somehow. The Cardinals are a team that will shock you about having a huge following.
St. Louis is a big sports town, and a lot of people come through there.
It's also a history thing.
Yeah.
Their grandparents were Cardinals fans, even if they were in Idaho or whatever because of the way that TV and radio rights worked.
Sure,
Cardinals
totally.
are
That was
huge.
that was the broadcast they got, and so that's who they
Yep.
pulled for.
Yeah, so that Cardinals have a big following. I'm sure those Texas teams have massive followings, despite being a bunch of cheaters. There's some. I don't know. We could probably move on from baseball, but I did see some question about the Yankees this season about how their batters are looking into the dugout after certain pitches, waiting for signals.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that plays out.
You know, I think every team is always looking for edges on every team, and it wouldn't surprise me if some teams are doing more in like, you know, stealing signs and watching grips and that kind of stuff than others. And pitchers don't tend to like that stuff, you know.
They sure do not.
But it also sure ain't cheating. So
yeah, I guess. All right. Well, the Tarps off movement's breaking news. We're on breaking news and fraud. So I guess we have to talk about how the tank did not explode. Because our last episode,
we're all still here.
the last episode was
Congratulations.
how the tank might explode. So the tank did not explode.
Yeah, I think we recorded like one day before they basically said, okay, we're pretty sure it's safe now. Everyone can go back home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
Although, did you guys hear that a day later, or right after they announced that, a tank up in Washington at a paper processing plant or a paper refinery imploded and caused a bunch of damage?
Somebody got hurt or killed.
I think several people were killed in that one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was a big one. I saw some aerial pictures of that one, and it was like, if it was, I think it was probably larger, but they weren't wrong to evacuate people if it was going to be like that around here.
Yeah.
I mean, the one around here I think I saw was like 34,000 gallons. That's just a lot of volume, however you do it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you just can't. This is going to be big, whatever happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that company can enjoy being sued into oblivion by all the homeowners who were ruined by that.
I got emails across the county, miles and miles and miles and miles away, that were like, hey, if you need financial assistance with your mortgage because of the emergency, because they declared a state of emergency, let us know.
Sure.
And also, here's the insurance companies that you should contact if you get damage. It's like, wow, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wild. I don't think there's an insurance company in the world that will take my claim when I eat these beans, though, Michael.
Lord.
I feel like if you crack open one of those cans and eat those beans, you are on your own, sir.
I have to sign a waiver to eat this thing.
You have voided the warranty on your own life.
And shunned God's light. Like, what is this, Michael?
So this is apparently Bush's of baked bean fame, their gimmick for this summer. They put out this special 3-pack of baked bean flavors.
Oh no!
250 years of America, and this is what they show?
This is what they came up with.
I didn't realize it was a 3-pack. You have to buy all 3. You can't buy the good one.
I think it's a 3-pack. I don't believe you can buy them all individually.
Oh, no.
You better enjoy that. So Michael, what are the flavors?
Michael?
Okay, so we're gonna go from what I consider. Oh wait, maybe you can get them individually. Anyway, what I consider the most tolerable to the one that just is beyond the pale. So up front we have apple pie, right? And to me, this is the one that
sugar
you could get away with, right? Like
brown sugar and cinnamon. Yeah,
little cubed apples, caramelized apples in there with the baked beans. Like all of
those
that.
are bean things. Those are bean things.
What? Put it on. Beans on toast usually has like ketchup with it, so never mind.
No, just give me this as a
Andrew,
side.
this is America's 250th anniversary, not England's. Get out of here, please.
Well, this is my Boston Harbor.
Yeah, if you're gonna throw those beans on toast and then throw them into the ocean, maybe.
Again, everyone's a Red Sox fan.
Mm-hmm.
No one should listen to Red Sox fans, though. Everyone agrees that all the Boston sports fans are the worst. So,
Okay, so next up, moving down the ladder, we have dill pickle flavored baked beans.
Oh boy.
And to me,
this doesn't even sound appetizing.
It's a clash, right? Of what I want and what I picture when I think of baked beans.
I don't want to eat this, but it's not on the list of I wouldn't try it once.
Right. And so underneath the bottom of the ladder, we have the third flavor, which is Rocket Pop flavored baked beans.
It's buried in concrete underneath the ladder, underneath the house.
Serving
below
as
below the floor
foundation
of the house, below the foundation, in like the cartoon thing where you dig through 400 layers of earth and you get to like hell down at the bottom. It's down there.
Yeah, it's animated like those modern Mickey Mouse cartoons.
So yeah, it's baked beans.
Do they even say what Rocket Pop means? I know what a Rocket Pop is.
Oh, they do. They say limited summer edition baked beans with cherry, lime, and blue raspberry flavors.
Straight no.
Oh, lime. Have you ever eaten beans and been like, you know what this needs? Lime.
No.
Hold on. I have squeezed the lime over my plate of Mexican food that there have been refried beans on
baked beans, though.
Yeah,
that's
baked
different.
Beans, yeah.
Well, you just said beans, and I'm saying there's a world
Fair enough.
where
I
squeeze a lime over some Mexican food and there's some beans on there.
Sure.
I am a big enough man to admit when I am wrong. I said the wrong thing.
Okay.
Baked beans and lime. Does not sound good. Blue raspberry, you just know that means sugar, right?
Oh, that's all. I mean, blue raspberry, that's all it is. It's just sugar.
Blue raspberry is not a real flavor. Blue raspberry is a snow cone flavor.
Right. Yeah, it's sugar syrup that's colored blue.
That's wild, dude. Who approved that? That they won't even make their money back on the novelty.
The dog in those ads is who approved this one.
It's got to be. Is Mr. Bush is out to lunch hunting ducks or whatever he does. Oh my gosh.
You don't even have to convene the food court. This is just like remanded straight to jail.
Yeah, gavel, gavel, crime, done. Fraud. Oh boy. Well, happy birthday, America. Your signature dish sucks.
Good.
Speaking of, if we're gonna talk about frauds, I guess. I don't think
You're trying really hard.
just I know that this is gonna come out in a way that you're not gonna agree with me. But I think it's really funny because it's exactly my opinion of George Russell.
No.
Wow.
Dude's exposed, man.
I mean, I think that's been the story of this season, right? Is Kimi's just constantly showing him up.
Yeah.
And even this week, or this most recent F1 race.
Okay. Before you talk about the most recent F1 race, we have to preface, we did not forget to talk about Miami. Miami was unfortunately claimed by the ether in the aforementioned previously missing episode that we lost. So we can talk about the new regulations again while we do this discussion, because I think the new regulation changes may have affected his car.
So yeah, there were also new for the next coming race, which is now Monaco as of this recording. The Mercedes engine trick, quote unquote, is now illegal.
Yep.
Which it was unclear that anyone was actually using it or not, but we'll see if that has any effect. But also, they made a bunch of tweaks to the power charge, discharge management, super clipping stuff. None of which will matter in Monaco because all that shit is apparently turned off, which is a hilarious joke.
There's Monaco continues to be the race you watch for no reason because qualifying determines the race.
Yes, here's what it is. You watch Monaco qualifying and then you turn the race day off and go do something else.
Yep.
Because whoever's first just wins and there's no reason to do anything else.
Yep. Michael got to hear a whole thing about what super clipping is last time, but essentially the way that the battery recharges power and uses power is
You can essentially like steal power from the internal combustion engine to recharge the battery, which then in theory makes you go slower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is, in theory, makes you go slower while that's happening, but the electrical boost that you get deployed properly then it makes you faster overall. But the drivers really hate this, to be clear.
They tried to improve it before Miami. Miami racing was actually decent, right?
It was a little better, yeah. So I think it had a positive effect. And then I think the Canada racing was actually not bad.
Canada racing was decently back and forth.
Okay.
I was shocked that they let the two Mercedes cars race side by side and try and trade positions as long as they did.
Shocking, Kimi didn't go into the barrier or into the side of George at a couple different points.
I gotta tell you, watching a lot of that, even when they went close and then they told them that they needed to knock it off, the person that caused the problem was not Kimi. As far as I recall.
Because Russell knows what's up. Like, he knows Kimi is young and has to back off when boss tells him so. And Russell will just be like, I was in front. It's fine. What are you going to do?
Yeah. But midway through the race, Crybaby
Russell's engine
McFloppy
explodes.
The gentleman who said that you shouldn't get furious and upset when your car fails and you're acting like a baby threw a temper tantrum on the middle of the track when his electrical system shut down.
You can see how he's reasonably upset, though.
I think that it is reasonable to be upset, but he literally gave an interview one race before that said you shouldn't have a temper tantrum and act like a baby when your car unit failures, and it's really unprofessional.
Yeah.
Very funny to me, considering I have no interest in being a George Russell fan.
No one has ever accused George Russell of only using one side of his mouth. You know, he's using both sides, and I think everyone agrees.
Yes. Double talk.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sounds like it was an electrical failure, which very funny that they had to change some things in the electrical to get ready for these new.
And like, he was probably going to win that race based on the position he was in and what was going on.
They told Kimi to back off of him.
You know, I mean, maybe they go at it again, you know, by the end or whatever. But yeah, it was a relatively foregone conclusion that Russell was not going to run away. And then his car dies, and so Kimi wins again.
The racing was decent in the middle. And then there was a lot of really stupid McLaren decisions on tires.
Yeah, there was a threat of rain. It rained just before the start. And then there was a threat of rain kind of near the start-ish, but it didn't really materialize. A few people started on intermediate tires, which basically tanked their entire race.
Yeah.
And maybe if they didn't do like 3 formation laps for some godforsaken reason.
Oh, because one of the cars wouldn't start. Whoever was at the back and never started, Lindblad's car died on the grid, and it took them too long to get it off, so they needed to warm up their tires again.
Which again, I get it. Safety, you know, you don't want people to smash into the back of somebody or whatever, like, fine. But like any hope that people had of doing okay on the intermediate tires completely went out after the second formation lap and the track was completely dry. It's like maybe when the track's all wet, you get a chance and like, oh, okay, you can like overtake a bunch of people really quick, get a big lead for the first 3 laps, just like destroy your tires, pit, go on to something else, you know, make a long stint or whatever. But like, nope, no chance. Track's completely dry by the time the thing starts and they just like fall backwards immediately.
Yeah. It led to some good races in the middle, but that Red Bull car just doesn't seem like it can have the stamina, man. Hamilton passed him eventually. Although I still think there was some good racing in there for like a lap or two. It just
I was ended up we got a good Hamilton Verstappen battle again, you know, like it was good. And they both kept it clean, you know. Verstappen didn't run him 400 miles off the track.
I think he just knows you know, like while he can hold people off for a long time, I don't think that car's got the get up and go to keep up once somebody's by him.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So it'll be very interesting to see after the next race and the engine modifications start coming in, and this new trick is banned supposedly, and how any of this stuff goes.
I'd
be very curious.
Better racing though. So
yeah, I think these changes were positive.
Yeah. I have a note here that I have no idea what it means, and so as we transition off of the fraud block, we're gonna go into the I don't know what we're talking about block. I wrote down Bowlsplosion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, it sounds like you'll have to enlighten us, JJ.
Yeah, have you guys ever just like opened your cabinet one time and found shattered glass all over the interior and no idea how it happened?
Last two days ago, I opened the cabinet and grabbed a glass beer pint out of the cabinet, and it was just like cracked from my fingertip to the top. Just beep, a little hairline crack.
Do you think it was cracked before you picked it up while it was in there?
I think it might have somehow maybe gotten cracked in the dishwasher. And then when I picked it up, whatever subtle thing was there just sort of like popped it. So it didn't explode or anything in my hand. But I just was like, what? All of a sudden there's a crack in this glass. I didn't do anything.
So we opened our cabinet where we keep all the glass mixing bowls and other various things. And inside one of the bowls was just, like shards of safety, the like safety material glass, right? It wasn't like sharp.
Pyrex.
But yeah, whatever they were made out of. And, some intact bowls, obviously, but like clearly one of them had just decided to splinter itself to smithereens inside the cabinet. Now, I'm fairly confident we didn't put a shattered bowl into the cabinet. What the heck happened?
So I've had this happen. Yep. I had this happen.
Okay, so I get that. But we don't put hot things away. They sit out on our counter and dry and cool down.
So my best guess there, JJ, is that when they made the bowl, it had a small air bubble in it.
Okay.
And so you don't necessarily need to be putting extra hot or extra cold things in it. Do you wash it by hand or do you put it in the dishwasher?
By hand, usually.
Okay. It still might be warm enough, right? Because the air is going to expand at a different rate than the glass.
And we're using hot water, so yeah.
Yeah. And so basically you're just thermally stressing that little pocket in the glass, and it finally gets one too many cycles on it, and the whole thing, that glass is under the tension that holds the bowl together. And so as soon as it gets a little crack in it, all of that tension tries to relieve itself at once, and the whole thing just pops.
Yeah, the weirdest thing. We just opened it and like shards of glass like fell out, like rain onto the thing. We're like, what the hell happened?
It's even weirder when it happens when you're making something in the oven. I was at a friend's house.
I could have understood that. It's like, oh, okay, it's a thermal expansion thing, but it was sitting in the cabinet, like we put it away whole, and then we open the cabinet later, some indeterminate amount of time, it's gone.
I assume something happened at work or something, because you guys would have heard something just pop or shatter.
I guess we would have. I didn't hear anything, but yeah, I mean, we're obviously not here most of the day, so it could have happened at any time.
Yeah, that's wild.
Sorry, what was your story, Michael?
Oh, no, I was just going to say I was at a friend's house and they stuck a glass Pyrex dish in the oven making something. And we were sitting around talking, waiting for it to finish, and then just heard pop. And then the sound of glass falling inside the oven.
Oh, no. Because then everything in that bowl is in the oven, too.
Brutal.
Oh. Well, shattered glass is what all my enemies look like in vampire crawlers these days.
Yeah, you cracking some cards, Andy?
Dude, I've had my Bowlsplosion moment where you've unlocked 90% of the game and you get how the cards work and you get how the interactions work and you get all this stuff, and it's like, how big can we go? you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good feeling when you're doing it also while you're progressing the game, not just that like they did a good thing. They didn't make you have to go backwards in order to do that crazy stuff. Like I think I'm on the second to last level, my guess. Because I think I'm on a 9. I'm guessing they maybe go to 10. Because I'm nearing your hour count there, JJ, and I know you've completed everything. So
Yeah, what number or level are you at?
I think it's 9.
Yeah, not a ton more.
Not a ton more. But doing a 9, I am still just wrecking with a good team, right? Like I know what I want to do, and
Yeah.
I do it, and it's wrecking and doing whatever, even on higher difficulty. Obviously, you can use settings to make it even harder, but like, I think
on the base stuff, once you get a team that's powerful and a set of
Yeah.
cards that are powerful, it's really hard to lose. Like you kind of have to like intentionally lose if that's what you want to do. Once you get like a good set of guys.
Did you know that you can not die to the Reaper at the end of a level?
Oh yeah, I did.
Did you beat it?
No, I did not. So I know what you have to do to beat it. I just never assembled a build that got it. Like I needed either more armor or
Freeze.
more card draw and freeze. Yeah, and I could never get enough of one or the other one.
Yeah. It was a surprise to me because I had finally finished a level and I had like 580 life or something like that. And I was automatically generating like 90 armor a turn. I think I had generated some amount of hundreds of thousands of gold. And did you know your XP caps out at 1000% extra?
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. I would imagine a bunch of those statistics cap out at like
eventually
999,
cap out,
right?
Yeah. But they go to a full 1000%.
Interesting. They didn't
cap
just cap it at 999, but that's cool.
Yeah. So that I think won't be that long for this world, but I definitely had that moment where I was like, I can just do what as long as I'm paying close enough attention to how I'm drawing these cards and playing these draw cards, I just win. There's no way I can lose.
You see the Matrix, right? You're just like, oh, there's nothing they can do to me. Like it's just like parry, 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 you know?
Mm-hmm. That's the Baladro moment where it's like, oh, well, I drew a yellow card, so this ends on the first round. There's no chance you get to attack me.
Yep. Have you faced the other Reaper then?
The Trickster?
Oh, yeah, sorry, the Trickster.
I have faced the Trickster accidentally and lost.
Yeah, beating the Trickster is hard but not impossible. He's easier to beat than the final Reaper, I think.
Yes.
He just has so much HP.
Yeah, he did not do 300 damage to me a turn, but I was not on a build where I had 500 health at the time that I encountered him.
Yeah, you need to be strong when you bring him out. Doing it on purpose
now that I know
important.
how I did it, yeah, I could do it intentionally.
I like that the game does not have achievements for beating either of those guys. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I will try. I will try to beat him just because I want to say that I've done it.
I think it's fun to do, and my issue with it is just that I know it felt to me like by the end, the build I would need to beat less the Trickster, but more the Reaper at the end was going to be really annoying. Like I was going to have to like really grind out slow and level up really, really importantly, pay a lot of attention to make sure I get enough freeze. And like, yeah, it was going to be really painful.
Really grindy.
That sounds not worth it.
And then like you'd have to restart over runs, just like kill your run when you know you're not going to get enough of whatever. Like, yeah, it just seems annoying.
I have accidentally made an armor grind draw deck that because it was like, well, these are the only cards that are coming up. And it was like by the end of that's how I beat the bridge, by the way. I assembled that one and I was like, it's working, but I am not having I am not having fun doing 20 damage a turn and just cycling cards. It's not.
I'm literally
it's not
invincible,
enjoyable.
And nothing you do or add to my deck will stop it. But also, I do 14 damage, and it's like going to take me an hour to kill you.
Not so much fun. Have you? What was my question? Have you experienced? I'll remember my question in the middle of asking it. I'm sure. Give me a second.
There's a couple of really annoying and really hard to get weapons, I think, which suck for the achievements and stuff. I don't know if you've been looking at that stuff.
I have, as far as I understand it, upgraded every weapon that can be upgraded. I keep trying to find if there's an upgrade for the bouquet of flowers, but I don't
believe there is.
So at this point, yeah.
The ones I found really tough was the upgrade of the pentagram. It was hard to find the pentagram to start with, and then getting the upgrade for it requires you to be pretty high level, and I was kind of already winning the game by that point in a lot of times.
The pentagram upgrade is strange because you play it 3 times to make it, and it gets stronger each time. And then afterwards, it resets to being weak, and you have to keep playing it to make it stronger. It's a cool concept, but I didn't find it as useful as I think some of the other stuff is. Obviously, the strongest card in the game is actually that 2-mana wagon wheel. Just like straight up the best card, attacking card in the game. The only card so far that I know exists that I have not seen, or I assume exists because everything else has that tier, is the last highest armor card. Like gain like 8 armor a turn or whatever. I haven't seen that one yet. I had a question about if you found something useful, but I can't remember which thing I was going to ask you, if it was useful or not.
Oh, wait. Is this working? Hello?
Yeah, it's still working.
Okay, it turned off for a sec.
Oh.
Sorry, you had a question?
Oh, I had a specific thing that I was thinking of when I thought of the question. It was about what was useful and not useful to you in terms of leveling through the game. I can't remember exactly which card was going to make my point for me, but I didn't know at this point.
The yellow draw one.
What's that?
The yellow draw one.
I mean,
or the yellow card that's just a wild.
Yeah, those are pretty great. Those are great cards. I just didn't know if you had found stuff that you're like, this is a trap, because I feel like a lot of cards are kind of like, these are a trap.
Pretty much every 0 cost attack is kind of a trap, but you need a few of them. You know,
I think those are mostly the traps because Michael, we described that you got to like play things in order.
Right. Yep.
0 cost attacks, unless you upgrade them, are basically useless later in the game. You can upgrade them like in Survivors, and then they become very good. You know, like the wand is kind of bad, but it also becomes pretty good.
The evolved ones are pretty good versions, but those don't cost 0 anymore. And so
the worst part of them being the trap is that the best cards in other colors, like purple, blue, and yellow, are 0 cost cards or 1 cost sometimes.
Yeah, so I think the best way to build is to not take as few as possible of the 0 cost attacks and as many as possible as the 0 cost armors or, mana or draw spells.
Yeah. The thing I have not, I think, solidified yet in what is good or bad is I've built decks that are like 20 cards, and I've really tried not to level up, and I've tried very hard to level up, like I said, like 1,000% XP, and I've had decks that are like 40 cards. But at a certain point, you run out of rerolls and skips, and those cards end up starting to be kind of off topic. Have you found that like one strategy was better than the other?
I think you can definitely do it both ways. I think that's like the cool thing about this game. You might have to change like your arcanas to make one work over the other, you know?
There's only one arcana, by the way.
Which one are you claiming is the one?
There's these cards that you have to, well, you don't have to, but there's cards called arcanas that give your crawlers static ability
same as
I guess.
Survivors, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Okay.
But you can only equip one, and there's no upgrade to equip more than one. You can equip more than one if you find one in a dungeon.
Most dungeons later in the game will have one somewhere.
Yeah, so you'll end up with 2 usually, high level dungeon. The only one that matters, in my opinion, after playing 20 something hours of the game, is continue combo after turn ends.
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
Because retaining mana doesn't matter once you're good at managing card draw and mana production. And maintaining armor between turns or using armor as damage is really bad because you can't what if you don't get armor or you don't have an armor build? You got to quit because you don't have the right
So
thing.
I think that one in specific is really only good if you're going to try and fight the Reaper, and you have to like restart until you get the right build with it. But yes, I agree with you. You don't want that one.
I think the only Arcana that really is supplemental to every build that you could possibly end up with, or every deck that you could possibly end up with, is Continue combo.
I think that's the most generally applicable one. I used a fair amount of the play 100 cards and gain a permanent mana one.
Really?
Yeah. You play
Because
a lot of cards. A lot more than you think.
Yeah, see, that's to me is like the thing. I'm like, 100 cards is a lot.
It is, but it really isn't, especially if you're drawing a bunch of cards all the time. You could whip through your deck 2 or 3 times per battle. And, by the end of the second floor, you'll have +1 or +2 mana. And
So
then it snowballs from there, right?
So you don't want purple cards in your deck then, because you don't want them clogging up space since you won't need the mana.
No, purple cards are just fine. As long any card counts, like yes, you're right that you don't need as many of them, but you do sort of need them early because like early on you're still just working with the mana you got, and so you want a few of them, but you don't need as many of them. Like when I'm playing without that Arcana, you kind of want like as many purple cards as they give you effectively, right? Like anything that generates positive mana is like hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But with this, you take like a couple of those and then you're kind of just like, whatever. And then because like by the end you start every turn with 17 or whatever, and it's like who friggin' cares? You just play every card in your hand, raffle across the board, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I upgraded the purple cards in the blacksmith, just assuming I would auto pick them basically in every deck, and so they are in there, and I usually add card draw effects to them, and that's kind of how I play.
The purple cards, the yellow cards, and the 0 cost cards are the ones I used in the blacksmith mostly.
Did you end up doing anything in the jeweler? It seems like a waste of time to me.
I think I changed around a couple of wildcard modifiers that I really disliked, like mild. I pushed that one into a much more rare category because I hated that stupid modifier. But that's kind of it. Like, I didn't use the jeweler very much. I think if you're trying to min max, like, go to beat the Reaper or whatever, maybe it's worthwhile to invest if you just have money lying around.
Yeah.
But I never did. I spent all that money all the time.
Unless they add an expansion to this game, I don't see a point in wasting the time and energy messing around there.
It's certainly not worth grinding for it. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah. Great game. Super fun. Been doing it most nights.
I'm very curious to hear what you think when you get to the final boss.
Okay. Wonderful. I got a few things to do. Like I need to beat Gallo's tower with Gallo. I think I need to play like 400 more purple cards somehow. I don't know why. I play a ton of purple cards, and then I think I have like 1, maybe 2 levels left if 10 is really the top. But once breaking through the bridge, kind of understanding and really racking up money, I managed to move on. So, did Michael manage to rack up as much money as the Mandalorian's latest job?
What have I been doing? Racking up some cash
I wanted to see if you ignored our podcast on the Mandalorian and Grogu as we told you to.
I have not listened to it. No.
Okay.
Keeping that in my back pocket.
Sweet. I think the two of you probably need to discuss a brand new game.
Is it time, JJ? I want to hear about this. We've been talking about it. I played the demo. Did you play the demo?
I played a little bit of the demo. I think I played it on my Switch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about Mina.
I was a backer of Mina the Hollower to get it out of the way. So I backed it on Kickstarter 7 years ago or something. Whenever that happened,
That sounds about right. Development, Kickstarter development,
a life age of the Earth ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it finally has now released, and it's I don't know. It is not a Metroidvania. It's not.
No,
So this game does not give you, exploration powers. So, that's not gonna. You may want to go back to things, but it really has nothing to do with because you've unlocked a thing or whatever. It's like a top-down Zelda-like kind of, with like a
little bit
Dark
Zelda-like
Souls influence.
Yeah, kind of what parts of it had a feel like to me were some of those DuckTales games.
Yeah, the pixel art for
those
sure.
were side scroller, but the feel of it, the mood from the color palette,
And definitely like some of those old Castlevania games too, with the sub weapons and stuff.
Yes.
But I've played a fair amount now. I think I'm a few different bosses in. Don't really want to spoil how many or how much.
Sure.
But I will say this game is really fun, you guys. I'm really, really enjoying it. It is pretty darn hard at the beginning. I will say, as it has gone on, I have been dying a lot less. So, the upgrades and stuff that you get early on really, really do help you snowball and, become more powerful. Maybe that changes as they go on. Again, I'm not super deep in, but I'm looking forward to playing more. I think the thing that's tripping me out is there's just clearly so much happening. I just have no idea what I am or am not doing, and I do have to complain, the map system is really bad. So it is really hard to know if you've done everything in an area until later. And then it doesn't do a good enough job of letting you see where it was the thing you didn't do. So you're like, okay, I'm missing stuff in this region. Where though?
Yeah, that's always
wander
frustrating.
Around or whatever. Now, I think also the game very clearly does not need you to do everything. You don't need to get all the things. There's, as far as I can tell, very little benefit for getting all the little extra shards of bones or whatever. Maybe there's extra weapons and trinkets and stuff there, but do not need that stuff.
Is it going to be a Castlevania thing where they give you the 200%, or is it going to be just sort of
I don't know.
Open map and not a big deal?
I don't think there is a 200% thing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get something for getting 100%. I don't know, but based on the way the map system is, I can't imagine wanting to go back and scour some of these dungeons and overworld regions for little hidden secrets and stuff that I didn't find, because it's such a pain to get around. So moving around between the zones is really interesting. They do a really good job of making you feel like you're under threat. Between checkpoints, you're really okay, I need to I can't die. I have a lot of money on me. I don't want to die, because you drop it when you die. And if you don't get back to where you were, potentially you're just going to lose all that money.
Hello, Hollow Knight?
Yes. Very, very Hollow Knight.
Sure.
But unlike Hollow Knight, where your movement and your power progresses, you do level up and you do increase your power a little bit here. But that big monster's still there. He comes back. It's not like you can just walk around him and it's fine.
Right.
You can run past guys, of course. They're not going to stop you, but you do if they're just blocking the exit, what are you going to do?
You got to clear them out.
Yeah. But I think the thing that differentiates this from your Zeldas and your Castlevanias, how many I guess what I would call sub weapons, or this game calls trinkets, there are that do different weird, unique stuff.
So this is what I was going to ask you about specifically, because they did not put the trinkets at all into the demo. And so I was curious how it impacted the gameplay to start collecting those and be able to use them in different ways.
So, there are so many. I think, like I said, I'm not that deep in. I must already have like 10 or 15.
Wow. Okay.
And some of them do like very small, like barely worth it kind of things. It's like, oh, when you get hit, this spawns a little fly who will, if you're near him, give you a buff that increases your attack. That's not
okay.
super great.
Okay.
But sorry, I'm confusing two things. There's both sub weapons and the trinkets, right? The trinkets are these like passives that you equip on your character, and that's the stuff that wasn't in the game, right? They had the sub weapons, yeah. But the trinkets, there's such variety. Like, there's I don't want to spoil too many of like the crazy ones, but like there are ones that affect your movement in certain terrain, but not in other terrain. There's ones that let you do some really interesting like platforming stuff. There are some that give you just like straight up like little dudes that help you out. There are some that do literally nothing except for make it less painful when you die. There are some that give you increased resources or increase your attack or your defense or whatever, right? There's like a billion, it seems, of these things.
What is the drawback or limitation to using a billion of these things?
So you only have so many slots, right?
Yep,
so you get like, I believe at the start, I think you have 0, and you can collect items that give you more. I have a few of those items now, so I can use a few different trinkets at the same time.
Okay.
But I have like I said, like 15 or something, and I can equip 3. That's not, and maybe you have reasons you want this one over that other one in a certain area or whatever, right? But also, you're kind of locked in once you equip them. You can't just change them on the fly while you're running around. And you have to go back to a checkpoint, which also then respawns all the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of your push-pull there.
Yep.
But the and that's just the trinket side. These are kind of like passive effects ish. And then the sub weapons, there's like a whole bunch of these too, man. You get your classic Castlevania kind of axe thing, throw a little axe.
Yeah.
Except when the axe hits, it does a cross of like outward damage from the spot that the axe hits.
Okay.
So, like, up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
Like a little shockwave kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. You get a classic little throwing knife, but the throwing knife is also a boomerang.
Oh, nice.
So you throw the knife forward and then it like spins and twirls back towards you,
Kind of like the old chain knife, Yeah,
absolutely.
The old chain knife.
There's a lot of fun things you can do with that thing, obviously. Get it behind guys and do all kinds of stuff. And then there's like a bunch of weird, wacky ones. I have one that when you use it, it summons like a little monster on a leash who just like drains your sub-weapon juice over time. Just like Castlevania, you have a juice for it, like heart equivalent, but it's not called hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're out of it, it costs so many to use. And then when you're out of it, you can't use the sub-weapon anymore, right? This little monster dude just like is on a chain connected to you. So he kind of gets pulled around a little bit when you move. But otherwise, he just sort of moves around and attacks on his own. He's just there. He just hangs out. That's a sub-weapon.
Okay.
But also, you can use the sub-weapon again once he's out and blow him up like a bomb. I don't believe it hurts you, but that's really cool. There's a fishing rod. God, I have no idea what the hell I do with that. There's
always got to be fishing.
Got to be fishing, right? RPG. What are some of the other ones? There's like at least 3 or 4 more that I've seen that are just weird and wacky. And these are all like attacks that you can in theory use to do various stuff. It has a really, really surprising amount of customization and, play the way you want kind of stuff. Like, yeah, And then, that's just on top of the fact that Mina has different weapons. Like your standard attack is not always the Castlevania whip or the Zelda sword.
Right, you got to choose from one of 4 right up front in the demo.
Did they give you the shield up front?
I don't remember if they gave you the shield.
So do you remember
You
which ones
definitely got, there was the sword, there was the whip.
Yeah, the like whip mace thing.
Yes, the mace, there was the dagger and the axe.
Yeah, so there's the big
The
hammer.
last one was the hammer. I was going to say it was something big and heavy.
Yeah, the big hammer, the mace, the daggers. Did they give you either of? There are 2 more that I've seen. There's a shield, which can attack like very close in front of it, but also has a parry ability, which apparently is very strong. Okay. I have yet to pull it off yet. But also I haven't tried because I wanted to win and not die. And there's also a shooty type weapon.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which I have seen but have not purchased yet. So I'm very curious.
Neither of those are options.
Yeah, they don't. So in the beginning of the game, it lets you sort of play with the first 3, the sword, the 2 daggers, the big hammer, and the mace whip thing. And you kind of get to pick one. And you should pick one that you like because you're going to kind of be stuck with it for a while. So don't like goof around and pick the hammer if you hate the hammer. Saw some people getting caught by that on the internet. They're like, oh, I'll just be able to switch later. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yes, you will be able to switch later.
Much later.
It might be a while.
Oh, okay.
And you might be really sad you didn't have a weapon you liked in those early hours. So I started with the whip mace thing. That's been my primary weapon, and I really, really liked it. Although I can see the benefits of the daggers. I have yet to see the benefits of the hammer.
So I went with the daggers when I started.
And you like them? They're like real stabby, fast things.
I did. Yes, they're very quick, but you have to be, you have to tailor your movement, especially in combat, for close range, which can get kind of dicey.
Let me just go ahead and tell you, you're going to have to do that anyway.
Okay.
the mace whip thing, you're like, oh, you get a little range. That's really nice.
But
it's
only
not
a very
that much
little
range. It's not going to help you that much. Trust me.
Good to know.
You're going to have to dodge 99% of the time before you get that swing out. And the hammer's even worse.
Because it's so slow. Yeah.
The hammer has some like dodge capability that the other ones don't have, which is nice, but it does kind of lock your facing, which really, really gets painful because if the monster attacks you at a diagonal, it's now below you and you're facing left, and you're locked to that until you unload your hammer attack. It just misses because the guy's over there.
Yes, I did find the diagonal attacks coming in to be the thing that I had the most trouble with.
Well, get excited for diagonal attacks coming in.
Joy.
I will also say, in true Castlevania and Zelda fashion, there are birds, and the birds really, really suck.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just like those bats in Castlevania, they're really annoying. Well, the birds here are not awesome either. Died probably as many times to birds in some cases as I did to bosses.
It's because you don't respect bird law.
It may be the case.
Yeah. If people know what bird law is from,
they should send that to podcast@weweregamers.com.
I think we have a lot of movies to talk about next week, JJ.
All right.
At least one.
Is that a lot?
Well, you might have more, but I've got at least one.
All right. I'm excited to talk about one. I'm also excited to talk about some potential TV coming up. ?
Oh, there will be some Invincible to be discussed as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to start Spider Noir before next week, but
ooh, yes, that also just released.
We watched the first episode. That's all I'll say.
Color or black and white?
I chose black and white. What are we doing if you're watching this in color? Like, isn't the whole thing that it's supposed to be in black and white, right?
I saw some pictures of the color, and I was like, kind of impressed by how good it looked.
I think they went for like a hyper saturated thing.
It's
full color, or is it like Frank Miller?
It is full color.
Flashes of color. Okay.
No. It is full color. It was shot in color and then converted to black and white. In so much as I think it was intended for black and white, like when they shot it.
Mm-hmm.
So the grays all work correctly. It looks like it
Yeah.
was intended for black and white.
That's
But
nice.
when you look at the color version, they stylized it. And it's got like that very early.
Does it look colorized?
No, it doesn't look. It looks like kind of like hype, like saturated but washed. All the colors are like vintage looking colors. So
That's
like
kinda
some of
cool.
the suits are brown on brown on brown, but they're all different browns. But that's how they were, so that they would play in black and white. But
Mhm.
Right.
but they look really good also. So I'm torn. I might watch both just to see.
I am curious to go back and watch some of the scenes. Like, there's especially a couple of scenes in the first episode that I saw that I'm like, I wonder what this looks like in color, because it looks really good in black and white. But I'm like, what is this in color?
Yeah, they have a name for the color treatment they gave it. Also,
Yeah, they
there's
have
a
names
by
for
the way,
both of them. Yeah.
if you search it on Google, the screen rains white, black and white rain.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like True Hue is what they call it. It reminds me of like the original Technicolor logo, now in Technicolor kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna carry forward with the black and white. I do like it, because I feel like it was the point, you know.
Mhm.
But if it sounds like they put work into the color version too, that's cool.
I mean, it looks good, but it also looks a little dated. So we'll see. It looks dated on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that'll be in our future. Probably not next episode.
Right.